Howdy, 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 folks. We are talking division, and we're going to use base 10 blocks to help us divide. And the cool thing about using base 10 blocks to help us divide is that it's extremely similar. I'm going to go ahead and say it's actually the same as using base 10 blocks to help us multiply. So before we do any division, let's do a quick little crash course on how to multiply using base 10 blocks. So let's go, let's go 7 times 11. Sure, why not? So remember, when we're talking multiplication, each of these numbers, we would call those factors, and the answer they give us is our product. So first, let's list down all of our factors. I'll pause. Boom. So there. Got both my factors down. I've got 7 right here, and I've got 11 right there. So now remember, when we're using base 10 blocks, what we're really trying to do is build the area on the inside of the L. And remember, it can't be a shape like this. That doesn't work. That doesn't tell me anything. It has to be a nice square or rectangle. We're trying to build a nice area rug, basically, on the inside here. And that's the shape we need. So let's go ahead and start building this bad boy. So I notice there's 7 on this factor. There's 11 on this factor. Let's start building. So 1 times 10, of course. Oops. Pardon me, scribbling everywhere. 1 times 10 is 10. Okay, I'll move that guy a little bit away. There we go. Let's keep going. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 10 is 10. Oops, wrong thing. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 10 is 10. 1 times 10 is 10. And 1 times 10 is 10. Cool. 1 times 1 is 1. Pardon me. Oh, this thing can be finicky sometimes. There we go. 1 times 1 is 1. And we can see how this area is just getting built in as we multiply. Cool. Okay. So once I've got my area completely filled in, now I got to count how many blocks I have in that area. So how many ones do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7 ones. How many 10s? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So my product is 77. Cool. This is how we multiply using base 10 blocks. It's important for us to remember that because what we're going to be doing when we're dividing is not much different. So allow me just to clear off my mess here. Okay, so let's make a division expression first. Let's go 131. Why not? And we're going to divide 131 by 11. Cool. So now division is exactly backwards multiplication. It's the opposite. It's the inverse. So if I'm thinking in terms of multiplication, I've only got one factor here. The answer that I'm going to get, it's actually the other factor. If I multiply this number and this number together, it would give me this number. Factor times factor gives me product. So we're just working backwards here a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start grabbing my only factor. I'm going to build it. So my only factor I have right now is 11. Cool. Boom. There's 11. Done. Built. And now what I'm going to build next to it on the inside of my L is the product, that big number. So let's start building. Well, I know that I can build, let's try 100 next to this. Let's just try it. Okay, because what I'm trying to get to is 131. Okay, and remember, I have to build a nice big rectangle or square. So that kind of squares it up. What am I at right now? I'm at 110. I need more. Let's go 120. Okay, got to make a rectangle, so I'll fill this in. This would be 121. Ooh, I'm close. 131, because I've got this still. 131. Ooh, but if I put this in, darn, it's 132. I went too big. So when that happens, you need to, I'm making a big mess here. When that happens, I'm at 132. I'm bigger than the number I was trying to build. I have to back off these blocks. Okay, so let's see how far I could get before I went over. I was at 100, 10, 120, 121. Okay, and what did I have left over? Well, I had 10 remainder, 10 left over. Okay. So the very final step here now that I've built as much of the area as I possibly could, I've got my remainders next to it. Now what I have to do is build the missing factor. So what factor would go along the bottom here that would even up with my area on the inside? Well, I can see that 10 times 10 would give me that 100, okay? And I can see that 10 times, this 1 would give me that 1. Okay. So now what I can say is that 131 divided by 11 gives me an answer of 1011 with a remainder of 10. I had 10 left over. Okay. In other words, we can say that 11 fits into 131 11 times with 10 left over. Okay. So what I love about the base 10 block method is that it's visual. It shows us how many times this big area can be split up into 11. Well, this time it fit 11 times. There's 10 left over though. Okay. It's nice and visual. And when we get the blocks in our hands, now it's tactile too. So we'll have some fun with this. I'll see you in class.